on the softball that makes that ball rise through the zone. And if it's somewhere anywhere near your belly button and above, you have got to take it because you got to trust that that ball's going to keep moving up.
See, it's so funny because I was a rise ball lover up at the plate. So my game plan, honestly, both off of Ashley Rogers and Mary Half, both of them have that rise ball. I would be looking for something belt high and above. That way I could just get my barrel on top of it and drive it. But I think to your point, Kayla, it's knowing your strengths as a hitter. What do you hit well? What don't you hit well? And that's what you have to exploit in these pitchers.
One of the things that stands out to me anytime I hear one of these Arkansas players talk about their team is just the confidence that they have in each other. Maddie, you talked to Mary Half not too long ago on Rally Cap, I believe, and she was talking about just how close-knit this team is. And that leads me to my next point, something that you guys brought up when we first got to Tuscaloosa. Arkansas is one of those teams that, Kayla, you believe plays to their identity, and they've been doing that for such a long time. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean is that they know who they are, and who they are is a really fantastic home run hitting team. They pitch really well in the circle, and they rely on the arms of Mary Half and Autumn Storms with a little bit of help from some other pitchers in their bullpen. But really and truly, they don't have the best batting averages in the SEC. They're more towards the bottom. They strike out a lot. But what that tells me is they take big hacks. They live and die on the big swings, the home run balls, the multiple run home runs that are going to get them victories. And when they don't come through with that, they lose a lot.
Well, they have 4 players in their lineup with double-digit home runs, of course. When you've got Braxton Burnside with 24 home runs, they are relying on that long ball and that timely hit to set the table for their big-time hitters in the lineup and to be able to come through just that one time in the game. They are going to make you pay for it.
And I shouldn't say they lose a lot, by the way. They don't hit the long ball because they haven't lost enough this season, but that's been a common occurrence throughout their losses this season.
And to your point, Maddie, it's not just Braxton Burnside. They've got Lenny Malkin, Danielle Gibson, those 3 combining for 55 home runs this season. So if there's any shot of seeing a home run throughout the rest of the week, I have a feeling we could see one coming up here in about 18 minutes. Let's talk their opponent, the Tennessee Lady Vols. We saw them play last night, a walk-off win, extra innings. Maddie, what kind of toll does that take on a team in this environment, if any at all? Are they just coming in excited?
Honestly, I think it just fires you up, just knowing that your team had their back against the wall and they were still able to come through. And it was somebody like Ivy Davis that was able to do it. Not your typical stars in the lineup for this Tennessee squad when I'm taking Amanda Ayala or Kiki Malloy or Chelsea Sager, but it was somebody that's down at the bottom of the lineup to be able to come through. And not to mention, when you look at that inning as a whole, Allie Shipman coming up, starting off that inning, getting the base hit, really set the tone for them that, hey, we can do this even though we're down.
And the reaction from Allie Shipman, too, as soon as she got on first base, she was fired up. She was like, let's go. We got to get a spark. And this was coming in the 9th inning after Mackenzie Herzog had just hit the go-ahead home run. So the fight and the resiliency for this team, something that, honestly, we haven't seen a ton from Tennessee this year, showed up at the best time. This is when you want to be peaking, is right now in the postseason. And they have some talented hitters in their lineup. And I got to say this, you mentioned Amanda Ayala. She was injured for part of the year. What a difference she makes in this lineup. She goes 2 for 3 last night, scores a run. She is a really important piece to their success because she can do it all. She can play good left field, she can run the bases well, and she can get that big clutch hit.
And honestly, I think she's a really a calming presence in that leadoff spot. She's not your typical spark plug that you're going to see in some of these other teams, but she is somebody that is calm, confident, cool, and collected, and I think she really calms down the rest of the offense.
And the other person I think of when you say calm, cool, and collected is Ashley Morgan. I mean, the first baseman just really has a nice presence at the plate. Again, creates confidence in her teammates just by her eyes and the way she looks at the opposing pitcher when she's in the box.
A little over 15 minutes away from Tennessee taking on Arkansas. The winner advances to Friday's semifinals. Tennessee has already played 1 game in this tournament. As we said, it was one exciting one on Wednesday night here in Tuscaloosa.
Ivy Davis, the gapper out to left center, and that's going to tie it up. Tennessee going for the win. The throw to the plate, and Ivy Davis with the 2-run double wins it for the Lady Vols.
Softball tournament, we're taking you up to first pitch between Tennessee and Arkansas. Some late news from Arkansas, though. Braxton Burnside will not play in this game. She's not been ruled out for the rest of the week, but we do know she will not be available for today's game against the Lady Vols, and that's a big loss. She's the SEC home run leader. She brings a lot of juice to this Arkansas offense, Kayla. who will have to step up in place of Braxton?
Well, that's what's so hard when you lose a player like Braxton Burnside. You take away so much of the attention that disappears from some of the other big hitters in the lineup because you focus so much on Braxton Burnside. So I look at this lineup, Danielle Gibson, Hannah McEwen, Lenny Malkin, step up to the plate. It's your time to shine because you take such a big RBI producer. She's got over 50 RBIs on the season. You take that out of the lineup, that's like a run or two a game that you're taking out of the lineup.
Well, and honestly, I think it's good practice for this squad because looking ahead even deeper into the postseason, you're going to face some opponents that go, hey, I am not going to get beat by Braxton Burnside, and I am going to force some of these other batters in this lineup to beat me. So I think it's a really good opportunity to see these players step up, and one specifically that's sticks out to me is Danielle Gibson, because I think we've seen her at times this year maybe put a little bit too much pressure on herself up at the plate, specifically with those bases loaded type of situations. So here, a great opportunity for her to become a star that, she already is a star for this team, but even more of a star for this Arkansas squad.
Yeah, and the other person that I circle is Hannah McEwen. Hannah McEwen is a senior for this squad. She hits in the leadoff spot. She's a dynamic lefty, and really and truly, I go back to the beginning of her career. She was really Coach Deifel's first great hitter to play at Arkansas under the amazing coach Courtney Deifel. So she really played a big factor in turning this program around offensively. So she's going to have to really step up and play well today, and especially in that leadoff spot, she can be such a spark.
Does that do anything to a team mentally, knowing that you've lost your big bat?
You know what? I got to say, this is a team that's had pieces of their lineup out all season. This is a team that's struggled with injury time and time again. McEwen's been out at some points. Gibson's been out at some points. We've seen Autumn Storm's out. And Courtney Deifel's big message is who we have is who we need. So they really are going to make sure that they don't focus on the fact that they don't have Braxton Burnside, but really looking to what they have at the plate today.
And honestly, if I'm looking at it as a teammate of this Arkansas squad, you've got Mary Half in the circle. She is going to keep you in every single game. And I know that some of my favorite pitchers to pitch behind, which I imagine that Mary Half has the same mentality, pitchers would turn to us and just go, hey, get me one run. That's all I need. Just get me one run. And we know that this Arkansas squad can put up a lot more than one run, that's for sure.
Certainly. This is an Arkansas team that is coming in with a whole lot of momentum. Again, we are taking you up to first pitch between Tennessee and the Razorbacks. Just about 10 minutes away if you're just joining us. Braxton Burnside, the SEC home run leader, not available for this game due to an injury. She has not been ruled out for the rest of the week, but you will not see her in the lineup tonight. The big question for Tennessee is in the circle with Ashley Rogers. She looked to be in some pain, Maddie, last night, 174 pitches. She got the win, but she could be a little beat up today.
Well, and honestly, it looked like a couple of different ailments. We saw that she did have some tape on her throwing finger, and we know as a pitcher you need to have that good grip to execute that spin, specifically on a rise ball. You want to get underneath that ball to make sure that it's moving through the zone, not getting too flat. But also throughout the game, we saw her with an apparatus on her back almost to try to keep it warm. And we know that she missed all of the 2020 season with that back injury, and she was definitely laboring as that game went on. But when I'm thinking back to that game, she really only got beat by one player for Texas A&M. She threw really well to the other hitters in that lineup, specifically against Haley Lee. I thought she had some really good pitch sequences, so she did throw well despite giving up 2 home runs and 2 doubles to Mackenzie Herzog.
Yeah, she might have a shorter leash tonight, and it's going to be interesting for Arkansas to be able to adjust, because what you have is Ashley Rogers. If she starts, she throws with higher velocity. She's got really good up movement, really good curveball movement away from righties and into lefties. And then on the other side of things, if we see the number 2, Callie Turner right there, you can see she's a lefty pitcher that has the potential to do a lot of off speed, a lot of speed changes, kind of a little bit more of a drop ball pitcher, a down ball pitcher. She's pitched to contact. She's not going to get a bunch of strikeouts, but that requires Arkansas to make huge adjustments at the plate, not only with timing and pitch location, but just in the total rhythm of what you were planning and expecting when you went into this game.
You guys have both watched a lot of Tennessee softball this year. How quickly will we be able to tell if Ashley Rogers is herself or not? And then you mentioned that short leash. what does that mean? How much time are they going to give her if things maybe aren't going well?
I think by inning 2, you'll be able to figure out if she's doing well or not. And I say inning 2 because inning 1, it gives her an opportunity to test the finger out, test the spin with a batter, and then move on and assess that rhythm and just composure portion of being a pitcher.
I think you're going to tell a lot with her mannerisms and how she's responding to the pitches that she's throwing, specifically talking back and forth with Allie Shipman behind the plate. You can imagine that they're definitely going to be communicating throughout the game to make sure that she's still feeling good.
Certainly looking a little frustrated pre-game, less than 10 minutes away between Tennessee and Arkansas. Again, all eyes on Ashley Rogers for Tennessee fans. 174 pitches last night. She was in pain. She's got a big one coming up against the Razorbacks. Welcome back to SEC Now, live here from Tuscaloosa. You're looking at Ashley Rogers, Tennessee's pitcher, who threw over 170 pitches last night. And in the game against A&M last night, she looked to be in a great deal of pain. She is, of course, Tennessee's ace in the circle, and all eyes will be on her as far as the Vols' chances tonight against the 2-seed Arkansas Razorbacks. Kayla, she looks to be in pain leading into this game. How big would it be? How crucial would it be to not have her tonight?
Oh, I mean, she's just announced as a starter, so, it's going to be a matter of how far she can go, how long she can throw out there, because despite the fact that she is in pain, this is a championship environment. She's going to dig deep and go out there and give exactly what she has in the tank left.
And if I'm Callie Turner, I am mentally preparing to go into the game immediately, just knowing that I'm seeing my teammate in so much pain, watching her work through all of that pain last night. If I'm Callie Turner, I am mentally prepping to have to face those Razorbacks.
She did continue to throw after that shot that you saw a few moments ago. Also, if you're just joining us, Arkansas's big-time hitter Braxton Burnside, the SEC leader in home runs, also unavailable for this game. Not for the rest of the tournament as far as we know, but she will not be out there tonight. How big is that for Arkansas?
I mean, these two injuries, or you can't say an injury for Ashley Rogers, but it's just throwing a wrinkle into this game. And what that means is that new players are going to have to step up. It might be Callie Turner, it might be Danielle Gibson, Hannah McEwen, whoever.
Arkansas battling for a spot in Friday's semifinals. They've got to get through Tennessee. We're going to send it over to Beth and Michelle.
Thank you, Alyssa. Doubleheader tonight. Quarterfinal action from the SEC softball tournament single elimination. Win or head home for the 7-seed Tennessee, coming off a win yesterday. And it is the tournament debut for the regular season co-champs, the 2-seed Arkansas Razorbacks. Here's what Tennessee did yesterday. Survived and advanced. An unbelievable pitching performance from Ashley Rogers, playing through pain, throwing over 170 pitches to get it done. And then a walk-off for Ivy Davis, as you check out some of her work right here. The walk-off for Ivy Davis in the bottom of the 9th inning was able to get the job done for Tennessee as they moved on with a win over Texas A&M. So here we go with our doubleheader tonight. Alabama and Kentucky on deck next. We already have our first semifinal set, 4 Eastern on ESPN2 tomorrow. It is the top seed Florida and Missouri. Hi everybody, and welcome to the Rhodes House in Tuscaloosa for the SEC Tournament quarterfinals. Beth Mowins along with Michelle Smith. Regular season co-champions this year for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Smitty, and they are looking to continue the magical season and cap it off with an SEC tournament title as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Beth. This season has been magical for Arkansas. They've been outstanding in every aspect of the game and historic. 5 years ago, they won just one SEC game. This year, they have been outstanding. Records and wins with 19. The ability to hit the ball. 4th in the country in home runs, highest winning percentage in the history for Arkansas softball. And how about Braxton Burnside? 24 home runs. She can just clobber. You've got Mary Happ in the circle. Courtney Deifel and company have put together a very complete team, looking to really come into this tournament and do some damage.
And the breaking news just happening earlier today, Braxton Burnside, their All-America candidate, Big Bopper with a school home run record this season, out with an injury, listed as day-to-day.
Well, that's going to be a big loss, but all year long, who we have is who we need has been the motto for this Arkansas team, so look for them to step up and replace Burnside. Obviously, it's always hard to do that when you have 24 home runs sitting on the bench.
They do have, suited up and ready to go, the co-pitcher of the year in the Southeastern